started painting 3 years ago when I was taking care of very sick heart patients. And I would go home at the end of the day and still their stories would resound in me. Their stories of not having hope and feeling lost and being really sick and scared. And I wanted to not only address their physical problems, but I also wanted to find a way to give them hope. And one of the ways I felt I could do that was by painting. And painting ended up being very therapeutic for me. It was a journey into exploring the very deepest caverns of my heart. But in the process, as I was brave enough to push through it, what ended up on the other side was finding this beauty in laying paint on the canvas. And I specifically remember the first painting that I hung at the cardiology office. And this patient I had never met before was watching me hang it. And she came up to me behind me and said, "Let me help you, dear." And she took her hand, and her hand was on mine, and we were both adjusting the painting on the wall to make it just right. And she stood back and looked at it and said, "Now it's right." And I almost cried because that moment of connection with someone over my art was a magical thing, and it sparked this fire in me to keep going. Now our whole office is covered in these paintings, and it's really a neat experience and sometimes an icebreaker to have the patients say, "Tell me about what you were thinking when you made this painting." And it's a way for us to connect. It's a way for us to sort of navigate those very difficult talks that we sometimes have to have about end of life. And ultimately, I think it's about connecting on a spiritual level and finding that there is, at the end of it all, at the end of the day, there is hope if you just know where to look.